for the month of December. Thankfully, I have found several new plots that we can check out. Um, the sad thing is they're not on Dominion side. I haven't been able to find as many over there. I know of at least two, but they're kind of not quite ready. So I'm hoping that if I skip the Dominion today, that maybe they'll be closer to done next week. Although I do know that Nelia mentioned that the update for the uh, Venus Rising plot that they're working in conjunction with several of their guild members may not get done until after the holidays, further on because um, she's been ill. So we'll see about that. Good morning, Soccer Talk. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, since I mentioned Nilia and Venus Rising, be sure, and if you haven't already or if you're planning to, don't wait much longer on getting your house entered for the Winterfest housing competition that they are hosting. You have until the 27th, I think, which is just a few days away. So, time is a ticking. Good morning, Bones. Glad you could join us. Um, I'm trying to think. Black Dagger Society is also hosting one. It's for entity only, whereas Venus Risings is open to both regions. So yeah, definitely check out the forums for that. I do have links on for both competitions on my Twitch channel page in the resources section. But if you feel like not doing that but you still want to visit, you can check it out directly just by visiting the official forums and go to the realm-specific subforums. I would note that Venus Rising's competition, since they're covering both regions, they have a thread in the entity region area and a thread in the Jabbit. So depending on which region you are in, go to the appropriate thread. We've had a few that are submitting their entity plots on the Jabbit thread, and they're being redirected. So make sure that if you're on entity and you're wanting to enter that one, make sure you're in the entity thread for that one. It's just to help make it easier for the judges to keep track. We actually have a competition page that they set up for us so that once the submissions are closed on the 27th, they'll input all of the information just so that we have a quick glance kind of page, and then we'll start doing our rounds. I probably won't be streaming any of that as I'm going through the plots to judge, just because I don't want folks to feel a little antsy or nitpicky about how I go about judging. As with any kind of competition like this, and in the judges case, while we do have a set of criteria that we're supposed to be looking for according to the judges sheet, a lot of it is our personal opinion, what kind of things we look for that we like, we find, and what I like and everything may not be exactly the same as someone else's. So I guess it's kind of where the whole when we tally up the points, they'll take the average of all the judges and stuff, and that makes it a little bit more fair as far as while there's probably guildmates of mine that may consider entering, I vow to be as fair as possible. Those that know me or have listened to me talk about things that I like and don't like kind of have an idea of already what I'm probably looking for. Excuse me. I'm a real big fan of custom building, so probably, not guaranteed, but probably the more of that you have, the better, from my perspective, because that to me is appealing than just using standard prefab stuff as is. That said, I have come across plots that don't have a lot of that, but are still impressive just because of the choice of theme and everything. So we'll see how that goes. We do have a couple of entries so far, but people either are waiting to the last minute or, just aren't interested. I don't know. I do know for a fact there's probably a few that just aren't going to be done in time for one reason or another. And it isn't that we haven't given them plenty of a heads up because, well, I know for sure Venus Risings, they like advertised that they were going to be hosting one like weeks in advance, so, or at least a week in advance. So, there was some heads up, and I think a lot of people were kind of expecting Carbine to have one, so people were building in anticipation of that. So we'll see. Fingers crossed that this weekend folks will uh, find that last little bit of time to get their stuff in order and together and everything. But like I said, with the holidays and work and maybe even some school stuff that's still finishing up, folks may just not have the opportunity to participate when they normally would. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah. Anyway, so that's that. Before we get started, I want to quickly do our daily reveal. We are on day 23. So coming down to the last few little windows, boxes, whatever you want to call them. And yesterday we had the plushy polar bear. And today we have a snowflake. There you go. Today is a winter snowflake. Let me tell you, it might look kind of simple, but it wasn't. It took, I think I counted like over 40 pieces to make this thing. I mean, it seems like it wouldn't take a lot, but I got pretty detailed with that. I built it actually on the floor over here because I had thought about maybe making some snowflake decorations on the floor. And when I was done with it, considering how many pieces it took just to make one, I was like, nope, that's not going to work. So I decided to just shrink it down and make it one of the little daily advent things. So there you have pretty little snowflake. All it is, if you can't recognize what's being used, is the white fence post. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of those intricately placed, and that'd be it. That's what it is. Bunch of posts, bunch of fence posts. Because like I said, before the little winter decor drop that we got recently, both with the little pre-drop before the Winterfest holiday started in game, and then after the Winterfest holiday started, we had a lot of new wintry type items. So we've got a lot of options for different kinds of white now. But in the past, we didn't, so we were kind of limited, and the white fence post, just kind of, not exactly a pure white, kind of like a bluish, almost purpley, like light lilac kind of white. Does it hide behind the wall? I think for the most part it's showing. I honestly can't remember what piece was the center. I don't know if that's it. Yeah, you can see it kind of sticking out there. Look at all those things. This is horrible. But yeah, it's hidden pretty good. But because it's boxed in, you can't see it. So it's another, like I said, it's another cheat. Not having to build 3D. Maybe one day we'll have some better types of basic building blocks that are in more primary colors that we can kind of fiddle with a little easier than working with those. But yeah, that was pretty tough. 40-something pieces for that thing. And see, that's what I mean by there's a lot of pieces here that could be used elsewhere, and I'm just kind of waiting on continuing with building for the store and stuff until after the holidays, probably, because I'll be getting rid of this and moving on to something else. So that's day 23, Snowflake for the holiday advent house. So I'll get my list here before I forget. And let me send out a quick little tweet. And I honestly am trying to remember to tweet out regularly, but I don't know, I get sidetracked when I get started. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't work well in the Christmas tree sucker. I tried other items. I'd even thought about using like cobwebs and stuff, but they just didn't look right. So yeah, maybe if we got, just little metal, like get the 2x4s, but in other kinds of colors, just basic colors. Like even if they come up with 2x4s that had that Oran wall look, that's kind of whitish. It'd be better than what we don't have now. So if we could get like the 2x4 pieces and the metal edged blocks and stuff in some other colorings, I think that would be very helpful in situations like that. You can make a little bit more standalone stuff. Anyway, so winter houses. Yes, we're visiting winter houses. Our first one is by a player named Yorick Thur. Some of you on Exile side may recognize the name. He's or used to be pretty active in collecting groups for world bosses. And he kind of took a break from that, but he's back recently, so it reminded me that his plot did have some wintry touches to it. He's been on the list of builders in the forum for a while now because he had like a little rock kind of thing built up. So we're going to take a look around here. But you can see he's done, like a lot of people, added in some of the new lovely protostarish details. So we're going to try and just go along. There's going to be bits that are snowy and bits that aren't. So we got a little fueling station where you come and fuel up your vehicles, your mounts, I don't know what, little mechanical mounts or something. Let me slow down her run a little bit. Conveniently located microphone for those that want to carol. Mine's a little further away. It's like tucked into the building at the far back, so I don't think people like visiting my place just for the quest. Excuse me. Okay, so I think we'll go this way first. But it's not like compactly decorated with foliage and stuff, but it's nicely full. I mean, it's not like you can look straight across from one end to the other. There's lots of stuff going on, lots of pine trees and snow-covered ones and not snow-covered ones. I know a lot of people have been asking for Carbine to add in more snow-covered trees, but even with snow, sometimes the snow blows off, so you can get away with having a few that aren't covered up. I mean, if you really wanted to get picky, you could add some snow clumps here and there. It's not like you have to add one to every little branch or anything. Here's a little makeshift, I don't know what this is. I guess it's a little motorbike. The interesting combination of items. There's a lot going on here. I think there's like, I don't know what that is. There's like the fancy bar, and I know that's the new Dominion shield that you get from one of the world bosses. I think that's one of the ships, like helicopter or something. I don't know. I see some benches in there, and of course the tires. And I think that's one of the Dominion emblems. The chair is just a cozy orange one. Pretty big, little big. I mean, look at the size of that thing. It's like twice my height there, or more. Pretty interesting. Notice he's lined his path with all these reinforced uh, walls. Don't know if that's the exact name of them, but what it reminds me of. Here's a little station thing. I think it's actually covering up a fab kit. Now, I don't know if this goes anywhere, but I see it and it's like leads up, so I'm gonna see if I can walk it without falling off. I started out trying as an explorer on one of my characters, and it required a lot of going up in these weird little things, and I was like, no, as much as I like exploring, that's a little too much. I don't like all the platforming because I'm awful at it. Not that this requires any jumping, but yeah. I'll find a way to fall down. So they've built it over the fab kit and just included it in as a nice vista kind of thing. If I can get my camera in a little better, so you can kind of see overall. There's a lot going on. Excuse me. Okay, let's see if I can fall down without croaking here. Good job. Now, I know there's some areas out here that I could probably walk through, but I'm going to stay on the main path and kind of follow the route that the builder has laid out. See, adding these little stones and the little snow mounds and things, that does a good job of keeping it kind of, I think that's one of those icy platforms here, probably to represent like a little frozen lake or something. Maybe there was a pond there, because I'm pretty sure this wasn't a snow plot originally. I think he's changed it up a little bit to, accommodate for the season, which may sound easier, but easy to do, but it's really not. I think it's a little tricky. Change the season of something. So let's go this way, I guess. Okay, just kind of I'm kind of following the path here. See where it takes us. Looks to be the main entrance to the house there, I think. Yep. I guess based on the door, that must be like a granite house or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the same way I am. Before in earlier days, I attempted to visit some of the like hover park and jumping puzzle plots, and that was a big mistake because I couldn't get through them, or it'd take me forever, and it's like I don't want to, waste your guys' time, so I just don't tour those typically. So here's a little kitchen area with a little, it's like a breakfast bar kind of thing, although that's a pretty hefty breakfast. Close that up. Little living room area. Little corner bathroom. I like the idea of using the glass as the mirror. I'm not seeing anybody do that, at least that I recall. We usually use a lot of other things. The glass works, it seems to do its job. I guess that's, I don't know what that's for, like a mini sauna or something? I'm not sure about that. We come up to the second floor. Wow, some really tight hallways here. Hold on. There we go. Oh, this is a really spiffy look office type thing. Got the head honcho's desk right here. Little personal shower. How awesome is that? He's using a microphone for the for the shower head. That's pretty funny. Not seen that either. Never know what you're gonna see. Like I said, that's part of the fun. People coming up with weird ways to use items. Okay, let's see. Let me back out here. Close this up. Go into this one. Looks like a little med office. Come in for checkup, have the doc check you out. Bones. I'm not going to repeat that. Okay. I saw something over here a second ago. Let's see, where did I already close it? I closed it, didn't I? What was in here? Gosh, so awful. Okay. Saw something a minute ago, and I don't want to forget to check it out. Maybe it was downstairs that I saw it. Okay, so go upstairs. Looks like, I guess it's the attic. Yeah, it looks like an attic where they just got bits and pieces that, it's one way if you're going to have like I've often said, if you have a lot of pieces that you've collected, but they don't necessarily match the theme that you're currently showing off, little treasure rooms or attic rooms or something, storage spaces and stuff like that. That's a great way to kind of just put that stuff out there so that it, maybe it doesn't fit the theme overall, but you can still, make an excuse to have them out. That's the attic. Where's that thing I saw? Excuse me. Okay, where did the stairs go? Okay, I know I saw something upstairs. There was like a cobweb. Where was that? I regret. Ah, here it is. I knew I saw something. There's like a little hidden space here. How weird is that? Woo! Slid right on down. That's the secret room. Ah, it's his private quarters. Nice, luxurious bedroom. Draken style. And another bath. Using the microphone again. With the sewer entrance for the drain. That's a little funny. Got his little rubber shell art pet for the shower. And see, you don't have to use the towel racks and stuff. You just stick it on the wall. It'll work. So I found the secret room. I'm glad I went back and checked because I don't want to miss stuff if I can help it. A little tricky. They were helpful in leaving the clue of the cobweb there. Okay, now we can go back downstairs. I think we've seen it all here. Did we go in this one? That was the bathroom, I think, right? Okay, so we got all the interior there. Let's go back out to the wintry landscape. Go this way. Kind of following these barrier things are kind of guiding me through. Not that it really leads anywhere, does it? No. So much for leading me to something nifty. Let's go this way. Keeps showing the beer sign, so we have a bar somewhere coming up. The sewer entrance, I'm fairly certain that's a drop from someplace. I'm not quite sure. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. I want to say it's just a random world drop kind of thing. But then, of course, if I say that, then it's like a craftable or something that I don't know about, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it just says it's a random drop, world drop. I think the one that I've gotten is from the AH, so that's where I get a lot of my rare drops. I just pay the monies for it, especially if I find it cheap. If I'm lucky enough. I still haven't gotten a hold of one of these little doodads. I like how it's kind of like a little open area from this cave that they got. Their little tribute to Protostar there. I like these holes in the rocks being used as like windows. It almost looks like they've even got glass here, but I don't think you can go through the hole anyway. Here we come into the bar scene. Wow, the lighting in here is really creepy. Here's the bar. Not quite sure what pieces are being used there. It looks like posters for the front, but I'm not sure what's being used as the top there. Not for positive. Let's go out here first. We have like a giant TV room. Guess they watch the sport games on it. That wallpaper looks really like poopy colored in this lighting. Public restroom. Hey Jay. Notice they've got different size sinks. One lower for the Orin and one higher for the others. Some I've seen it almost looks like the Three Bears that have like the small, medium, and large. They get a little funky with that. Something back here? No. Big O square. Let's see, where does this go? Could be that they're just not complete with it. Looks like a little stage area though. Maybe they come out and have some, maybe they plan on putting some tables. Look like a good place to have like some little party out here. You know, a guild come out here, have a little get together or something. That's what it looks like. Okay, how do I get to that little bridge over there? See it. I'm not sure if there's like an actual route or not. But I like how they've taken the time to put different kinds of foliage on the rocks and stuff. We've seen that on a few other plots in the past. Yeah, I think I'm coming up this a little differently. But anyway, here's we got a little strange little vendor with some creepy trees. Yeah, I know there's some stuff up there. I'm not sure the route. I know Thoric's shown me before, and it's been so long since I've been over here. I just don't remember the route. So we're just going to hope we can kind of jump our way up. I don't think that's going to work. There's probably like this really clear path and everything, and I'm just really bad at spotting it. Looking for like bridges or something. Maybe it's over here. Go down on this side. Whoop. Find a little escape route or something. Leads to the hot springs. That's kind of pretty. I like that. Some treasure. I'm trying to see if that's the only way you can get into this place or if there's another route. Looks like these might be steps or something like that. No. I just happened across it. Lucky us. That's kind of disturbing, having a little corpse there on the table. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't think they're done completely. Oh, here's a little gate. Leads to the creepy strain stuffs. Gonna make sure there's not another exit somewhere. Doesn't look like it. Just one way, you know, if you want, maybe you paid good money for a particular fab kit and you just refuse to get rid of it, but yet you want to change your theme, boxing it in like that and making a little kind of little scene of it kind of helps allow that to stick around. Okay, I'm going off the path here because I'm trying to find the way up to the area that I know is up there. I just don't know how to get to it. York's going to be so upset with me because I can't find the path. How do you get there? Oops. This is where we came a minute ago. There's a flag. Maybe that's the clue that this leads up. No, we're back to where we were before. Urgh. How do you get up? I have to take a long way around. See, there's a graveyard and stuff up there. I'm just not sure how to get to it. Because I is bad at finding. This is why I'm not an explorer on my character, because I'm really bad at figuring this stuff out. Gonna try jumping up again. Maybe the flags are clues to how I can get further up. Oh. Nope. Get up there. I made it! Yay! Yay me! I guess the flags are my clue and I was just ignoring them. So here we are at the spooky graveyard. I remember that was one of the reasons why I visited. They wanted to show me their little Shades Eve kind of additions. So you can see how they've kind of sectioned it off in little bits, making these creepy little mausoleums and stuff. Oh, see, I didn't even go to the tippy tip top. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. That's going to be rough. I'll try it here in a minute. Interesting little way of doing the graveyard, though, kind of up. And that's where it gets its name, Raven Rock, I think, is kind of creepy. So crud. Now I got to go back down there and fiddle with that jumping puzzle. This is so not going to go very well. I don't think it's wise that I'm jumping from this high. Oops. I survived. It's a miracle. Okay, Bones, I'm going to try it, but I make no guarantees that I am going to be successful because those platforms are tiny. And you just saw I'm awful. I can't even jump up the rocks, and they're huge. So this is going to be, if I make it, it's going to be a miracle. Even this is a little nerve-wracking because usually I just walk right off. I'm the kind that needs like railing for everything so that I don't, you know, kind of fall right through. Glass has been my friend. I'm off to these little overlooks and stuff and I walk right off to the side. Okay, so now I guess I'm supposed to stay on. So narrow. I don't like it. Okay, let's see, what's the best way to tackle this? There's one. Two. I swear it looks like these things are moving. Yeah, it's playing with my brain. Ugh. It's like someone else would probably do this in like 2 seconds flat, and I'm like taking an hour just to get up there. Holy, what the? This will be where I fall. Ugh, I'm in. Woohoo! So here, I guess it's a little like Mage's Tower. That's what I think of it as. He does his little experiments or something and comes up here to study. But I like the little overlook here. It's a nice shot. Wow, that thing actually goes all the way up even further. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm really awful at these things. Okay, let me see. Look at that. Look at all those trees and things. That's a lot of detail. But that's what makes the plot look, like a little chunk of um, the the actual game world. And that's what, a lot of people find tough to kind of bring on. I'm trying to see, is there stuff down there that we miss? I don't think so. He's really taken the time and adding a lot of trees, a lot of landscaping. Landscaping, any of that kind of stuff impresses me because I'm horrible at landscaping. So I think it's safe to say that that was all of um, Yorick's plot. I'm going to take one quick look over here to make sure I didn't miss anything. It does have like little doodads up above, so I don't want to miss it. Here's like another little pond, and he's got like the little cube where you come in and frame it. And I think this is supposed to represent a frozen waterfall with the ice there, which is kind of nifty. Oops. Look at that, he's got like this whole little creepy egg thing going on. I think that was actually a ramp there to go up in it, and I just kind of jumped over. See, how creepy is that? It almost reminds me of Diablo. We've been going through these little dungeons and stuff, and it has these little offshoots of little things, and that's what that reminds me of. So yeah, I'm glad I went back. Never know what you're going to find in these things. So that's Yorick Thur's Raven Rock plot. Like I said, we weren't really looking for Winterfest kind of things. It does have a few Winterfest items, but mostly I'm just looking for Winter-esque. Something that, if somebody's wanting to build a winter type plot, hopefully the plots that we've been visiting give them some ideas of like landscaping and some of the items that they can use. And notice they're even using foliage that you wouldn't associate. They've got some brown grass clumps and the bushberry stuff. But it works. I think it works really well with this plot. They've used a lot of non-snow type of trees and bushes and stuff and gotten away with it because they've spotted it enough with the snowy bits that it just blends in well. Okay, so the next one is Signar Blues plot. This one I posted or added to the list in the forum a few weeks ago. It's based on, even though it says nothing, it's based on the film Frozen. So it's lots of crystals and stuff because it's supposed to represent, I don't remember the princess's name, but the little castle she makes, the little house or whatever. So again, it's a different approach of how to do some landscaping. Notice that they have it pretty much boxed in with just using the snow-covered stones, and they've just kind of nicely kind of made it like a little canyon type thing or whatever. Even with its being a frozen, snowy place, they still got some running water. Maybe it's coming from a hot spring of some sort and it's keeping it rolling through, but nicely done on, kind of finishing off. A lot of people struggle with trying to figure out how to imagine how the water would just, go off into space or what, and people have found clever ways of kind of, so this is like a little overhang of some kind of drop down kind of space where the water goes into. Here's their little Winterfest tribute. They just got some various little gifts and packages and things on their little tree shelf, like the little lonely socks waiting for their coal or presents. Again, they've used, non-snow covered trees. A lot of winter plots I see, as far as flowers go, they really do like the weeping cups because it's white. It looks like a snow flower of some sort. Just lots of stones, pumping it in there. And of course the crystals. Let's see if we can might give us a good shot over here of this little kind of mountainous area that they have. They've even changed the type of stone that they used here and there just to kind of break up the monotony of it. Lots of use of those new floating trees that you get from the World Boss. And of course, lots of crystal. I mean, look at that. Like, a lot of those. And you don't even have to indicate where the water's coming from. It's just, hey, it's pouring out, and that's that. Notice the rope bridge. They've added the pillars on either end and the lamps just to kind of finish it off. More or less the same items over and over, but they've, they do like I do. They turn it, tilt it, rotate it, sink it in so only pieces are showing, and that helps vary it. While we might be kind of limited on some of the items that we have available, doing that helps make it look like you've got a lot more to work with. So that helps. We're going to stick to the areas down below for now. We won't go into the cavern just yet. Now there is a hatch house on this plot. I checked it out, I think it was this morning, and it is actually empty at the moment. I don't know what plan they have as far as what they might decide to put inside there, if anything. But I'll show you where it is, just because a lot of times people, when they have the hatch house or even the prefab houses and they want to kind of change the look of it or hide it or kind of make it like a secret interest kind of thing, a lot of them struggle with good ways of covering it up but still leaving it accessible for those that happen to find it. And I'll show you how they covered theirs. So here we have a little Lop Christmas village, or I say Winterfest village. I'm probably glad I have my volume down because it's probably loud with the little Lops dancing around. But I like the little setup. It has the feel of the little villages that they have around the world anyway. Guess it's a big old root or something. Yeah, I think it's from the massive umbrella trees that they've used to kind of give some lift, some elevation to some parts of their plot, and these are the resultant things sticking out oddly. That's a pretty little cavern made of all those crystals. Little kitchen. I like how they've changed the posters into rugs by adding them on top of the actual rug to give it those little frills. That's a clever way of using that. I'll have to remember it. Duly noted. Yeah, I'm hoping one day they'll give us some quiet lop. Here's a nice way of making a bowl of soup. Just add in one of the bubbling cauldrons in there. You know, you do have to contend with the fire effects, and maybe it's some spicy chili soup or something. And of course, there is the noise that comes with it. But you know, if you're just looking for appearance mostly, you know, for screenshots or something, that's a nice use of that. Here we have some more Winterfest stuffs. I'm sure they're probably looking to expand on this. Let me just come out the other side. Get that giant lop there. That's kind of spooky. But the hatch house is right here. See how you can kind of see the door pops in, and the entrance is covered up with a little snowy covered rock, the tree on top. But it's, I guess, close enough to the edge that it doesn't make it inaccessible. It reminds me of like my tree, but you don't normally see solid objects on top of it and still have access to it. But you can actually go in like so. But there's nothing in there right now. And then you pop up on top of the tree, which is a little weird. But I think their little clue that it's this is the only pine tree out here that's decorated that I've seen. So I think that's the little hint that that means that that's something special. So I expect that, you know, as they get more time and more decor to doodle with, they will expand on that. So here we have the Grand Crystal Palace, Castle, whatever you want to call it. And again, there's probably a lot of detail that's missing, but you know, as I said, there's the potential there. Letting people see it as it's in the process often can help spur ideas. Like here we have the lovely snowflakes that they've built in onto the floor, just using layered unframed glass. Now, usually I work with the framed glass, but the unframed works really well for a motif that you're wanting to put on, be it the floor or a window or whatever. So they've just repeated that nicely throughout, got different versions of their snowflakes. Works really good for the theme. I just don't know how well it'll work as far as visually when they maybe install furniture. Whoops, I just fell right down. See, kind of lost my track there. As far as like placing furniture here, then you'll see it from the bottom, and it might kind of throw off this pretty blue visual that you have right now. Yeah. So here we come to another little place, and as you get higher and higher up, the motif becomes a little bit more difficult to see, except at certain angles. But I like the railing being used as the icicles. Notice that they're not exactly the same coloring as, you know, this is one of the things a lot of people is kind of irked about. Like when a guildmate of mine is trying to make a protostar type of house, it was like looking at different kinds of blue stuff, blue metal. Every blue we have is a different shade. Nothing is really perfectly matched, and he's been finding that extremely annoying. And I can kind of sympathize because when you're trying to build something and you're having to use different parts, it kind of throws things off a little because these look more gray than blue or white. So it's a little weird. Here we have that big buoyant blue crystal floating in the top. So this would be like the upper level of the little castle here. But it has some great potential, and it really looks pretty. Kind of hard to get a good shot from a distance. It looks like I'm standing right outside the ice. I can just kind of, did you see that? I walk right through it. Woo-hoo. So apparently the icicles have no collision. That's interesting. You could like wall off a cavern or something with icicles and then just walk right through it if you remember where to go. That's something to remember. So definitely a place we may visit later once they've got it fully complete. I just wanted to take the opportunity because I don't think they're going to finish in time for the last week of December, and I'm really hoping to save that for some Dominion homes if I can find them. I've been visiting the places over there like crazy and just haven't been able to come across any. No, because I'm just using the random house visitor tool. Fire drill, be right back. Strange time for a fire drill. I guess it could happen at any time, so I've got to be prepared. Good luck with that, Bones. So our next house is Amelia Thorne's lot. This will be our last one for today because like I said, I've got a lot of things to do these next few days, so we're going to be kind of keeping it short on time as best I can. This is Thorne Haven by Amelia Thorne. I just want to take a look at the way they've kind of boxed in their entranceway. I don't know for sure if they've used, I don't know if it's a snowy hill or a massive umbrella tree. I suspect it's the tree because I think from what I read, the snowy hills had to be really huge in order to kind of accommodate positioning over the teleporter, but it's possible it could be the snowy hill. I'm looking to see, yeah, it's the massive umbrella tree because you can see the root hanging out there, sticking out kind of awkwardly. It's, like I said, from what I remember, those that have managed to get the snowy hill turned upside down to work, just like the massive umbrella tree, they had to enlarge it really considerably big to get it to, I guess, ignore the boundary markers or whatever. So here's some of those frozen lakes. Just used to kind of, give some kind of icy texture to the ground here, kind of break it up a little bit. And lots of use of the snowy hills just as they come to add, little snow drifts, basically. Here's the little microphone for those looking for it, it's just right there. Now they have a little path here. It's an interesting way of doing it. Really kind of a cute way, just using the hover park pieces, and they've just kind of notched it together so it makes a kind of a little path going down the hill into this little village. Again, look at the use of the snowy hills, kind of giving a nice contoured landscape. So we'll just start over here. Now, I think most of these buildings are faux buildings, meaning you can't actually enter them. But I love looking at these kind of builds because, if someone wanted to make them actual buildings, it would be, some ideas for how to construct them. But even if they don't want to make real buildings, they just want to make faux buildings themselves, then they can see how others are combining unusual items to set that up. So we have this little, looks like a little, maybe not an apartment complex. It reminds me of the homes over here where they're like side by side. In the States, especially in my neck of the woods, our homes are like separate, and you've got like acres of, yard before your next neighbor. Here, it's a little more compact. Land is pretty sparse, so everybody has to live like sardines, and that's what this reminds me of. So it could be like a small little apartment complex, but it's probably more like the little housing kind of thing that they have here. But for the little porches, it's just curved walls, a couple of those hover park pieces, and then windows for both the windows and the door. And then it's the top of a bottle for the handle. And notice they make each little yard a little different. You got a little bush here, a little tree here, and a different tree there, even though they're the same. And notice too the roofing. It's got snow on it. If you use probably snow clumps or snowy hills or whatever else kind of things that they could get. Same way with this little house. Got a cute little chimney, clearly using one of the witch's brew or the bubbling cauldrons for that. So here, it's just a different type of constructing it. I mean, you got the 3 chimneys here for this little complex thing, and then you got this little mini home here. How adorable is that? Look at the looks to be some 2x4s for the base and the little trim up here, Draken walls for this part of the wall, and then looks like Oran wall for this one. And one good thing about faux buildings, you don't have to worry about how it, might cover up the door or something. You're not actually worried about that. So they could just turn this big old piece. This probably goes all the way down into the ground, this little square part. But it works fine because, it's just a faux building. Little flower potted windows, domes for the stairs, staircase landings for the big door with the Draken pillars, and then the curved wall for the awning. It's little details like that that's fun, especially in this, winter town. So here you have the front doors of these little bits, and those, that's one of the portraits or something. It's one of those hanging portraits being used as the doors. And looks like a detonator handle for the door handles. Decking stairs for the staircases for each. It's a really nifty little idea. Here we have another faux building, but it's slightly different. It's got a domed roof. Maybe these are little apartments, and maybe that's a little school, I don't know, just a grandma's house or something. And this one might be the shoemaker's house. Who knows? Taking care to add in the little cellar door. And still, again, the little chimney, the snow. Hover park pieces for all the pathways. Okay, here we have another little house. This one's different even, again. Look at the funky little roofing there. That's different. It's pretty. Looking at the little water bucket here, it almost looks like ice in that. A good shot here of the front. Again, another faux building, but I like it kind of goes with the town, the size is right and everything, but is just constructed different, and apparently this is like the armorer's place. That one has an actual label. Again, with the little roof, used a lot of the cauldrons. A really big door. Here we have another. Now look at this door. This is the different. It's actually one of the bed frames, I think. An exile bed. That's interesting. Just look at all the little details. I mean, there's even a snow clump on the pile of bricks. Plenty of snow clumps on all of the roofs and things. Even got some sickles coming down from there. That horrible little round table that I hate. I'm sure if I talked to the builder, they could tell me like what each building's supposed to represent. You know, maybe this one's kind of like a church or something. I don't know. Here's another. Look at these. They got the little peak roofs. Lots of gutters with trim on the top. A lot of detail with just even the pillars kind of framing it up nicely. So this would be probably, well, it's kind of like maybe a weapon shop or something. Handle is the top of one of the files. I think it's the short one. Poor little dying plant there. A little alleyway, not very well lit. Looks like they're planning on finishing the trim here with the rain gutters. Just getting, you know, some good shots of the roofing, because a lot of people have trouble figuring out how to do the roofs. If you can just kind of try and make whatever you're layering or putting in to kind of, you know, be mirrored from side to side, you know, it doesn't matter even if you have some weird lines, as long as it looks uniform, it'll work. And of course, like I said, with faux building, it's much easier. There's a lot of pressure taken off as far as what it looks on the inside. There's probably a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't see. And it's not a problem because, you know, it's not like you have access to it anyway. A little porch area here for the people that grab a drink or something. Little snacks. I like how they've got the ice covering the roads too, little pathways. I guess the other place wasn't a church. This must have been it right here. Go to the graveyard first. Unfortunately, this copper gate, it looks nifty, but it's not functional. That's the only disappointment on that. But it certainly has some character to it. Here's a little graveyard in back of the church. Notice the church itself comprised of a variety of materials. I mean, you got the Exile stuff, you've got the Granok, you've got the Oran. It helps break up the monotony, you know. For me, when I tend to build, I usually end up using the same materials, and I don't have the imagination of mixing it up like this. That works really well. Notice the hanging clock, the same thing that we used for the sleigh parts. They're using it as a little clock face. Yes, it moves. It kind of throws it off a little bit, but you know, hey, it's a pretty fun use of it anyway. Again, this is a really good way of kind of adding some depth to an otherwise flat item. They've just spaced it out and shrunk it down so it makes it look like an arched entryway here. You know, a little deep rather than just having the one. Some strange things for the church here, but soda machine. Lots of pews. Maybe it's a town hall and not a church. I don't know. Kind of a weird churchy thing. I think it's more like a town hall. That's what the interior reminds me of. The exterior reminds me of a church, but the interior looks like a town hall. So it could be either or. Don't know. But I like the way they've pieced it together. Okay, so here we enter the little, I think this is like the marketplace. You've got, I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be. I guess it's the armor shop because he's got like swords on the wall and shields and stuff. But it's also got drinks and things and posters, so I'm not positive. But I like the construction of the building. I mean, look at the pieces used. Those are deck railing with a little trim up top. It's a square little building. Works well though. I like their little parasol table here. It's just a bowl with a plate tucked in the middle. Kind of, I mean, you could probably leave the plate out if you wanted. Yeah, me too, Bones. I'm looking forward to going out. There's a little bar. Come get your drinks, probably some snacks, like a friture or something, you know. Get your stuffs. You can actually go inside it even. You can see all the little detail that they put, you know, there's the condiments and the money and all the glasses and stuff. And then we have the grill. Cooking the stuff. I like the little, see if we can go inside here. I think we can. Yep. The employee lounge right there. I like the grilling here. Just 2x4s and orange walls, Draken floor, or I guess it's orange floors and Draken floor, and then the shelves, the metal shelves. Works quite nicely. Let's see. This one we have little, I'm not sure what this is supposed to represent. It looks like maybe in case of an emergency, you punch that button and the glass breaks or something, and then you can get the little fire extinguisher out. Yeah, I talked with Ellie this morning, and they're making progress. I went by there yesterday, and they already had a good portion of the town back up, a good portion of their custom home that's kind of hidden in the back of in the hills back up. I mean, obviously a lot of detail, like on the floor route and everything. They haven't gotten down yet, and there's no decoration as far as like furnitures and stuff yet. But like the place that they had built over the bank, the bare structure was there, and some of the benches and things like that. And the church isn't there yet. I know that, or at least it wasn't when I last looked. Um, but in fact, I think they're actually on right now, still working on it. So from what I understand, they don't plan on opening it up to to roommates um, until after Christmas, I think. So I think Ellie learned their lesson about inviting people to build on their plot just willy-nilly, because it's been a big loss. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure they were like really close to being done, and it was a really cute little build. You know, it's a little town and a custom house, and such a lot of detail, and it was all gone. But they've really done an astounding job of recouping, you know, in the past few days. So here's a little soup vendor. Nice use of the drake and cauldron there. Giant soup bowl, soup pot. Lots of picnic tables for this little construction here. Got a little gingerbread house going on. I suspect it's not complete. It could be that they've, you know, with so much detail on a plot, you know, you've got to be thinking, how much decor space do they have left? Clearly, they've used up a lot of it with all of these little details. I mean, look how many pieces of the snow clumps they've used for the icing. So, you know, there's no telling where they stand in that regard. But yeah, it's a toast house, but it's, you know, it's supposed to be gingerbread. Works really fun. Here's their little holiday tree, which is basically little, I don't know, windows. It looks like they were working on possibly an advent calendar type of thing, because they've got little tubes on some of them, and that's what it reminds me of, that it might have been that. Maybe they would have, you know, something behind there, I don't know what. Oh, well, that's fine, soccer, I don't mind. We might drop by just to see how she's progressing, but I kind of hate to do that, because I know she's busily working on it. For those that don't already know, the chains, the hanging chains, they have no collision whatsoever, so they make really good like bead doorways, um, kind of, you know, representative of that, because you can walk right through it, so it's fun. So here we have, I guess it's a souvenir shop. They got all sorts of little things. I like how they've used the seller entrance as the cash register there, in combo with the tablet. Here you got plants, you got pictures, bottles, little new age stuff going on here. So I think it's like a souvenir shop. Over here we have plushies galore. Look at all those plushies. That's a lot of a lot of plushies. So think about how much decor is being used up just to showcase that. That's nuts. And then over here we have looks to be like pillow shop, possibly. And there's lots of pillows. There's books though. Maybe it's a little tea shop or something. I don't know. I don't see any drinks or anything, so I'm not sure. But strangely, little pillows. Little pillows. Notice how they've boxed in their sky plot with just trees, just rows and rows of those snow-covered pines. Again, it's just up to you if you want the view to be visible or not. Here's another little faux house. Who knows what it might be? They've changed the way that most of them have the little chimneys that you don't see the bricking. Here they went ahead and just used the hover park pieces, but here they've used the I guess it's the Draken one. Now, whether or not there's actually anything in these, I have no idea. I haven't been inside, so. But this is the new, I think it's the mini Protostar Fab Kit. It's actually pretty big. It's a lot bigger than the haunted house one. Yeah, there's nothing in it yet. But see how much space there is? It just feels bigger. It might actually be the same size. It might just be the lighting and the color of the walls just makes it look bigger, but it feels bigger to me. I don't know why, but it just does. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they put in there. And of course, here's another fab kit, one of the biomes. I like how they carry out the little announcement board throughout the little town. But just look at the trees and the snowy hills. Just helps add contour to an otherwise typically flat little landscape. There's another little faux building, and again, they've used this door elsewhere, but they kind of repeated it, which helps kind of tie in all of these mixed match buildings. It brings them together when you use certain elements the same. I mean, we've got the same layer cake kind of effect, same as the building that we saw over there. But notice they did the stairs differently. Looks to be more of the hover park pieces, and they just done it a different way. That's what helps kind of keep it interesting. Every building is similar, but not. You know what I mean? It's just nice construction. And then we have the main house. Simple little yard, a little pile of snow and some snow-covered trees that's been made to look like bushes. Then you go inside, and here's a nice little interior. You have the kitchen. Little dining room. Tables just 2x4s and a couple pillars. The bathroom here. Got the toilet area. Little tub. Looks like one of those Oran pillars for the faucet. And then a metal table for the little panel, and then the short files for the little nozzles or handles or whatever. And then the standing shower. So this would be like the tub, and that's the shower here. So again, they're using that Oran pillar. There's actually like 2 of them listed on the vendor, but it's the same identical thing. Okay, then upstairs, and notice there's stairs. you know, they're using the basic staircase that we get, but they've hidden the what you can see below it by just adding in a layer of 2x4s. You could do that with walls, floors, uh, staircase landings, whatever works for you, you know, as far as your coloring and stuff. I made this little understair kind of storage area, added in a little support. They didn't have to. A lot of people probably wouldn't even think about doing that, but it makes it look a little bit more realistic. That was weird. But for me, it makes it look a little bit more realistic. Same way with the railing here. They didn't have to add that, but it helps pull it off even better, in my opinion. You know, it don't have to be this detailed. You can get a little bit more basic if you want, or use some of the prefabbed kind of railings if you want. Hey, Nordna. Glad you could join us. We're kind of getting towards the end, but you're welcome nonetheless. So here on the upper floor, you have like a little home office, little living room area. Notice that they've made the couch, even though it's two separate couches, they've just kind of sandwiched them together and made it like one little, like a love seat kind of thing. And it's a clever way of kind of expanding it beyond what its normal capacity is. And then up here we have the tiny little bedroom. And all they've done is built in a little boxed area, thrown in some mattresses, and then covered it with some rugs, just to make it look like a type of bedding. Simple, but you know, I think it's nicely done. Especially considering that this is one of the small versions of the house. It's not the spacious one. It's a little cozy exile plot house. So that was Amelia Thorne's Thorn Haven. Really nice job for combining, you know, lots of different materials. You know, if you have any inkling that you might want to set up a town yourself, yeah, Ellie's just finished working on some more stuff, so now they're going to go for some food. But if you're looking for some inspiration, different ideas, and you know how they approach not only the layout but the scale. You know, while the main house is on the large side, especially the roofing and everything, they've kind of brought the others down more to player size, I think, a little better. Even, you know, the doors are big enough, but like you come up against the actual prefab home and it's like, look how huge that looks, like Osun size or something. So they've done, in my opinion, a fair job of scaling it down, keeping it at a reasonable size, and clearly they've, you know, thought about the layout and everything, and this will give people inspiration if they're wanting to do something similar. If you don't add in as much detail, or you choose a different way of, you know, maybe you don't want yours boxed in like this and you free up some decor there, you could add other details that they didn't. You know, obviously the buildings, not all of them are specifically indicated as if possible what they are. So you could like say, well, this is this and this is that, opposite of what they've used it for. But yeah, I love coming to places like this because it's a real good way of grabbing up little individual ideas that you can incorporate in other ways in your own plots. Even if you don't do a town, you might like the way they've done the path, or how they've gridded off their little area. You know, even if you don't have a town, maybe you have a layout that requires a little bit more structure, and this kind of gives you an idea of a good way to do that. So yeah, that's Thornhaven. Now Ellie said we were free to drop by, but I don't know if she meant on the stream or just me personally. I think we'll leave it for later on stream. I definitely want to tour her place later, but I don't want to do that just yet. I think give her some time to finish it up a little better, because really, like I told her this morning, I said, you know, she's handling it much better than I think I would have if I had been in her shoes. I think I would have had to take a break and step away so that I don't pull my hair out and just, you know, scream bloody murder, you know, because it was a pretty devastating loss, having her whole plot wiped out. So, yeah, like I said, she's taken it a lot better. She's been busy building. So maybe next week, especially if we don't have any Dominion houses to check out by then, I will probably drop by hers and a couple others that we have on Exiles side that are kind of in the process, but not quite ready as yet. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining. I hope you enjoyed the tours for today. I think they were a nice selection of, you know, similar, but their approaches were vastly different in how they treated the different materials we have available currently. And just the themes themselves kind of varied quite a bit. So hopefully you guys had fun. So I'm off for today. The plan is I'm still going to stream tomorrow and Friday, but they're going to be probably short streams. If in the off chance something comes up unexpectedly or whatever we have otherwise planned kind of runs a little longer than we anticipate, if I don't show up, my excuses and apologies in advance. If nothing else, I will tweet the Advent house reveals for both days, but I can't. I want to say, you know, I definitely want to be here to stream, but I can't promise because there's some places we're going to be going tomorrow, and it just may run longer than I anticipate. And I hate to make a promise and then break it, but my goal is to stream a little bit tomorrow and a little bit Friday. But of course, you know, Friday is Christmas Day, so we've got company coming over, and it just depends on how early I get up and functioning and can, you know, get something out. But so if I'm not there, I wish you all some happy holidays. If I do see you, then I'll, you know, say it again. But yeah, I hope these have helped inspire you. If you haven't been in the holiday mood and, you know, kind of been fussing and everything, I hope this kind of cheers you up and inspires you to maybe try and play around with some of the winter stuff. Reminder, housing competitions are live now, and you only have a few days more, at least for one of them. I don't know when Black Dagger Society's deadline is. It may have already passed for all I know. I really haven't looked. I should, but I haven't. But Venus Rising's due date is the 27th. So if you're thinking about entering your house, or you're, you know, still putting on those finishing touches, get that entry in, because you don't want to save it to the last and then you risk forgetting altogether or being just too late or whatever. So the more the merrier. I took a second look at some of the criteria for Venus Risings, and you don't even have to have a winter plot. You know, yes, I've been touring winter plots, but it doesn't necessarily have to be winter. I think the main thing is it should be winter festy and have a tribute to Protostar. So if you can get those elements in, even if it's set on a beach or something, a sunny beach, I think it would be acceptable. You know, if you have winter, you know, a palm tree decorated out in lights and got gifts under it and stuff, that would work too. But yeah, definitely enter those now. Don't delay it much longer because time is running out. Um, but yeah, I think we'll call it good for today. Have a great day. Have a great weekend if I don't see you before then. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.